What was your first I don't know if impressions is the right word. How was the first time you met GT? Because for me, the first time I met GT was extremely bizarre. I ended up in Bacolod at an odd time. I was driven out into the middle of nowhere by people I don't know. I didn't meet GT at that time. I had never met him either. And we would drive into the middle of some fields, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to be murdered. And then out of the fields walked the group of men, and there was one woman, Tina, at that time. And I'm like, oh, which one is going? There's some big men over there, and behind them one sweet Filipino man is just ambling his way out. And I mean, the first time I spoke to him, it was a really interesting conversation about what makes Pikiti Pikiti. It was about geometry. It was and some of my, even now when I'm talking to you guys or teaching you guys, a lot of my answers will come from that first conversation, which I won't rant about right now, because this is about you guys more than it is about me. So whoever wants to go first, what is your first impression of GT?
I mean, go ahead, Shwets, go.
I think we were all at the breakfast table, and your instructions were be prepared for anything.
Yeah, oh my goodness, I'm getting a tattoo.
So and that was a bit scary, because be prepared for anything. Okay, that makes things worse, right? So we were just waiting there, and this very well dressed and carefully put together old man starts walking towards us, and even if no one told us, or we have seen pictures, but he looks very different now because of his age and everything. He looked very different from the latest pictures that we'd seen of him. But we didn't need someone to tell us that, hey, this man is GT, because it was just obvious. He just walked in like he owned the bloody place, and we just stood up and you greeted him. So it was a bit unreal for me. I was like, okay, this is the legendary Grandmaster, Kali Grandmaster. It was pretty cool. A little bit scary, but awesome.
Yeah. When I first met GT, I didn't know who he was actually. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know how big a deal he was. And it was, I told him this actually, it was sometime within the first month of my staying in Bacolod, when I was like, okay, let me just Google this man and see who he is. And then I was like, holy shit, what have I walked into? But yeah, you guys already knew who he was before you got there. So yeah.
This huge juxtaposition between sort of knowing like what an absolute legend he is, and then having him sit at the table and he loves his jokes and he bursts into song, and he's, you know, just there's just such a sweetness and such a, you know, I mean, some of the jokes were, you know, just ranging from, you know, all kinds of jokes, right? So for me, it was just that. It was this idea of like, you know, somebody who is so absolutely, he epitomizes this art that we all love, and he's kind of the soul of it, right? The spirit of it. He's achieved so much in his own lifetime, but then he's here and he's chilling with us, and he's not in any way making us feel like we need to kowtow or we need to be intimidated, which I thought was beautiful. I think for me that was amazing. Just the ease. I felt very comfortable. I think we all felt really comfortable around him, right? Yeah.
A few seconds later, yes, when he sat down and said something extremely funny, and I was looking at Adi, is it okay to laugh now?
You weren't sure. There was what was protocol. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to? But yeah, I don't know. I thought I was really happy around him. I really was.
Yeah, I didn't feel like, you know, that although like I said before, it's very intimidating in general to be around someone like him with his skill level and all of that. Like when the first time we met him, like Shweta was saying, it was breakfast. It wasn't in a training kind of environment, and he, I think Aditya, you told us a lot about, you tried to like prepare us in many ways, set a lot of expectations, and also the mantra of be prepared for anything, which we heard every day, multiple times a day. As far as GT was concerned, GT's kind of approach to us, there wasn't any of this like, you have come to train with me, you have to do X or Y or listen to every word I say. It was not hierarchical. It wasn't like, in fact, the thing I love the most, which Aditya, you have said to us, has said to me at least many times, even back home at Lighthaven when I'm training. But it was really nice to hear GT say it to me multiple times, which is, you have to make it your own. Like, you come here, you're going to learn. There are kind of right ways and wrong ways to do things. But once you've got that foundation, once you got that base, like, you have to make it your own. Like, you cannot move like me, and you cannot move like that other person. You can only move like you. And these kinds of things, like, these are absolute gems, like, to hear from a man like like him. And like Neha was saying, there's the sweetness. It's not about like just being nice and cuddly. I mean, like, the way he looked after us as a student. Like, sometimes with me being at the most kind of beginner stage, like, actually trying to explain certain things, or being a little bit more patient with me, I think, than some of the others, which was really nice, heartwarming for me actually to experience.
Yeah. I have forgotten what my next question was supposed to be. Shweta, what is the next question supposed to be? Oh yeah, what is training with him like?